SST is brought to you by Stark Auto Sales, home of the ultimate worldwide scratch and dent car sale. Hey everybody, I'm Rick Walker. Welcome back to the SST Car Show. We've seen lots of LS engine swaps, but none quite like the one we are about to show you, completed by Windsor, Ontario-based JH Restorations. We found this 1973 Toyota Celica at the Edelbrock booth at the SEMA Auto Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. JH Restorations' Jesse Henke tells us the car was generating a lot of buzz, not just because of the 500-plus horsepower engine in this 2,600-pound car. It was also generating a lot of excitement because of the way the car was painted and because of the way the interior looks. Well, Jesse, first of all, congratulations, because you have a real achievement on your hands here. It's an old Celica. It's been chosen by Edelbrock to display here at the SEMA Auto Show in Las Vegas. How did all of this get started?
Well, actually, it started off, funnily enough, my sales and marketing guy and one of our customers walked in and they got started talking about old Celicas. And they were kibitzing back and forth about what was better, North American, Japanese kind of stuff. And then last year we came down to Edelbrock and we started talking to Don and the crew here. And on the West Coast, all these import cars were really popular. And they said they really wanted a way to market what they were doing for the younger generation and be a little different. And that's where the project got hatched from. And we went home and did some renderings and said we're going to do some Toyota stuff. And they didn't have any Toyota parts. So we said, well, what if we slam an LS in this thing? And they said, no, that can't be done. It's not going to fit. Well, there you go. It fits in there. So
it's a little bit ironic that they say something for the younger generation, and yet you went all the way back to, like, this is what, a 70, what is it, a 73?
73. Well, what it was is, like, there's different, the muscle cars and the hot rods appeal to part of the generation, but guys my age and a little younger, they love these cars. I mean, for whatever reason, it's the 80s and the 80s and 70s imports, like the early 70s and the mid 80s, the AE86 cars. So they're really gaining some traction, and there's not a lot of these available. So it was like, what can we do? There isn't a lot out there, but we can have some fun with. And what better way to do it than take an old sort of muscle car inspired build? Like the Japanese, when you look at the cars, the unibody structure looks just like a Chevy 2, Mustang, big Mopar. They're built the same way. And then keeping kind of true to the hot rod industry, shove as much power as you can in the smallest car. So we put a 550 horse LS motor in a 2,600 pound car.
And what's that mated to? What kind of transmission setup?
It's got a 6-speed Nissan. So the only part of this whole build that is underlying that stayed sort of Japanese or overseas was the transmission. The gentleman is a Class A mechanic that owns the car. He works for Nissan, so he could get his hands on a transmission. But it went through an adapter to an LS bell housing to the back of the LS, and then it's got a double wishbone front suspension, 4-link in the back. Everything was in-house engineered to fit the car. Bolts right in, so you could technically order a kit and do the conversion on the car yourself.
Wow. And the aesthetics of the car are important too, and it's very unique because from a distance it looks like it's maybe something that just got pulled out of a garage, but you get up closer and you say, hey man, that's real artwork.
Yeah, that was kind of the whole premise of the build. We wanted to do something that looked like you pulled it out of a barn, and it was an old race car that was abandoned with a powertrain pulled out of it. So we kind of went with that and said, what would we do to this car if we had just found it in a barn and pulled it out? So the car has not been painted. It was scuffed down and satin cleared. So everything on the outside of the body is original yellow paint. Of course, under the hood, the bottom side of the hood, in the engine bay, in the interior, the trunk and the undercarriage has all been gone over. Everything that we touched, we painted and redetailed. But everything on the outside of the car has got a satin clear coat on it. We got broken marker lights and cracked lenses and mismatched fenders, but we wanted to keep the character of the car looking like it would have been, just pulled out of a barn from 1974. So
the interior is quite unique as well. Like it's got plaid seats. Did it come with plaid seats back in '73? I don't remember that.
No, it didn't. It was a black interior when we got the car. There was a couple part seats in it. Had a crushed velour insert in it. And when you're building a car like this, to have a yellow car with a black interior sitting on a show floor at SEMA, we needed to make it pop. So we went back to Volkswagen, who has some really colorful interiors. So their Westphalia van has got a really cool plaid in it, had some yellows, had some greens, had some oranges in it. So we threw that in the black leather in the inside, accented with some stitching, and that really turned out well. Against the stripe, the old livery on the side of the car, it really turned out well.
But this thing is really set up to run at the track.
Oh yeah, it's set up like a modern pro touring car. No wipers, no air conditioning, no heat, roll bar in the back of it. It's all power, all motor, lightweight car. So.
Have you had it out to test it yet, to find out what it'll do?
We've done some tours around the building. We kind of finished it up with about a week to spare. And then the last week when we left home, there's just too much rain and the weather wasn't cooperating with us, and the tune and the motor just wasn't where we wanted it to be. So we got it running well enough to idle in here and get out through SEMA Ignited. And after that, we're going to get home and do some tuning. There's a chance it might go down to Edelbrock for the winter season. So we'll see what happens.
Wow. And it's a big team effort, right? Lots of guys helped with this.
Yeah, there was the in-house team, the family back home at JH, and then we had 42 different partners helping us out on this. The biggest one's Edelbrock. We had Vibrant Performance, Wolf Aircraft. I mean, you name it in the industry, they were all involved in it. We had a lot of fun with them. And it was also the outside shops that don't work for us. They wanted to be on board with it. So we had like Gleesman Manufacturing, we had ACL Design. They really stepped up and knew what we were trying to do and just got the job done.
Well, you know, I remember back when these cars were first out there. My buddy had one. He picked me up from school a couple of times and at high school. And, you know, this is where the whole Toyota sports car legend really got its beginnings, right?
Yeah, it gained some traction in the 70s. Where we grew up, it was all North American, the big three, right? I mean, my dad had a Datsun 510. I mean, it was rusting before it ever got off the boat. He got wrecked in the mid-70s, got T-boned in Leamington, but his was one of two that he knew running around. There's a lot of Opals running around, but not very many import cars because we were a big, labor town, so you didn't see them that often. But yeah, it's like I said, popular on the West Coast and Western Canada, and people are really loving it. We're enjoying the response.
Well, congratulations again. Thank you so much for sharing the car with us.
Thank you for your time.
Want to save up to 40% on your next car? Learn how with Insurance Claim Auto Auctions, Canada-wide with worldwide shipping. StarkAutoSales.com, a better way to buy a car, in person or online.